Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hi, guys. Oops, let me put my ear back in. I can't hear. I hear half of me. How are you doing? This is Heather Hope with The Inspired Entrepreneur. Happy Thursday. Thursday. Okay. That would mean, I got a calendar for my desk. It's sitting right here and I have yet to look at it. Okay. Yes. Happy Thursday, January 21st. Okay. So, what's new? Just kidding. I feel like, so sometimes some of these podcasts are shorter because I just have nothing to say. And then there's other times where I'm just rambling or, you know what I mean? And since it's a daily podcast, it's I end up talking a lot, but it's good because I don't have clients anymore and I don't do anything anymore with anyone. So, it's a good outlet, but anyhow, let me know if anybody out there who is wanting to start a podcast, because it's still a thing that people are doing. I particularly don't listen to podcasts, but I like to speak. So it works for me. And I like audio better than video and blah, blah, blah. So it's just easier. I mean, audio is just insanely easy. Podcasting is insanely easy. If you have some sort of a knack of being able to talk, great. And, a lot of podcasts have interviews and I don't do interviews, but, it's funny how I've talked to some people who wanted to start a podcast, and one of their fears is they just want to interview people because they personally don't have much to say, and some of them end up being coaches, they're coaches, and they probably, if you're a coach, you're probably some sort of, I want to call a thought leader or something, you have something to say. But me personally, it's I remember somebody wanted to be interviewed on my podcast, and I'm like, well, I just don't interview people on my podcast. It's not one of those podcasts. And they had mentioned they wanted to start one and interview people because they're fascinated with other people's perspectives. And so that's not me. I'm not interested in other people's perspectives. That sounds so something, right? I'm the first to admit that. That sounds really something. But hear me out. It's when I talked about the other day of I can't see myself ever working with another coach because I have yet to find anybody who is like me, who is completely in tune with infinite intelligence and completely does not make the message something different or bring in their own beliefs about something, saying that that's truth. Does that make sense? So that's why it's we have the answers. I have the answers. You have the answers. We all have the answers inside ourselves. We don't need to hear, I don't feel like I'm putting my perspective on Abraham's work. I show, some things that I guess maybe, I don't know. Let me know if I do or not. Maybe I'm not, but I personally don't want to hear other people's perspectives because that's where I think we all go wrong because, you need to come up with your own perspective, period. Does that make sense? So I don't want to listen to other people anymore. I just don't. I can't stand listening to people anymore, like humans. Because it's rare for me to find a human that really gets it and doesn't totally fuck it all up. Seriously. That was one of the things that working with clients, who are interested in the law of attraction, a lot of them, most people who are interested in law of attraction get their information from many different law of attraction teachers. Humans, right? And each human pretty much puts a little bit of their own spin or their own belief systems in there. You can hear them. If you get it, you can hear it. And I try not to do that. Like, I have, like, the beliefs that I have are my beliefs. The truths in my life are the truths that I have created, and I don't want anybody else to take on my truths. I want you to create your own. Like, whatever you want to be true in your life, make that true. And whatever I want, I make but I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that they need to do this and that and they should be doing, that is, oh, I hate that. I freaking hate it. I don't use that word very much, but that hate word, but it's one of those pet peeves of mine that, so I had a hard time working with some clients that really just wanted to listen to everybody. And it contradicted my work. It contradicted what I was trying to teach based on Abraham. And it was difficult. It was very difficult for me. And it ends up being difficult for the clients because, in my opinion, they make it harder on themselves by going all over the place and taking on other people's perspectives and beliefs and all of that. And it frustrated me. So, at this point, not working with clients, I am much happier. I'm a much happier person because I'm not dealing with other people. And I listen to Abraham when they say about how it is when you work with people and caring about whether they get it or not. And today I even listened to an Abraham about, it was just in this one about like jumping timelines. It was in there. It was a really good one. About when, like, trying to get somebody to get something that you understand. And the ideal is to get them, is like to have them come up to you. Like, you want everybody to come up to you because you don't want to lower your vibration to match theirs so they can understand you or you can understand them, really. You don't want to do that. And when you're a coach, it's basically what you're doing. A coach, therapist, whatever. If you're trying to help somebody, if they don't come up to your vibration to understand, you have to go down to theirs. And typically you have to go down to theirs because they don't have it yet. They don't know it yet. And when you do that, that is not very helpful for anybody. And that was what I felt as a coach. I felt that for a long time. And the more and more I learned, the more and more I was like, oh, crap. It was kind of like trying to make something work that doesn't really work, or I'm not good at it. I don't know. I don't know. But so that's why, I think a lot of coaching doesn't work, just like a lot of therapy doesn't work, because the person who's trying to help others, they have to basically go down. Now, a way around that is to not personally work with people. What you do is you become a thought leader, you become an author, writer, speaker, where it's a one-way communication. And that's where I moved into a one-way communication. So I'm not dealing with other people's belief systems and like one-on-one. Does that make sense? Or in groups, it doesn't matter. Like, when I'm connected with people and like can hear them and what they're doing or saying or believing, it really is frustrating for me. So when I find out, this is the frustrating part. I worked with a bunch of people for a year and a half, and they will come across, like, they'll come across in my feed, and what they say or what they write isn't anything that I was teaching. And that's where frustration comes in, and like sadness of they didn't get it. I worked with somebody for a year and a half and they still don't get it. And it's just one of those things where, and then what I ended up reframing, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, of like looking back at something that didn't really quite work the way you wanted it to work. So you have certain feelings about it. So I'm like, it was advanced. It was too advanced. And I had been told that when I first started the program. I had one person who was the star student. She was with me for like 3 months and she moved on, which was fine, which is ideal. Like, if your clients can move on because they're really good clients, that is such a great thing. I really cherish those clients a lot because I don't think you should be with a coach forever. And I know people who are with coaches for years. They keep buying the next program, the next program, the next program. And it's like, no, that's why I don't like long contracts anymore. That's why, all of this, it's like, keep growing, grow out of your coach. But now it's like, don't even go. Anyway. But she had told me it was like a master's program, like a mastery program of Abraham. And she was right there for it. So she was one of the clients that was really on top of it, because she did the work every single day. She did the mindset work every morning. She did the studying. She did all of that. And that's what I just cherish. So anyway, but the more I learned about coaching and all the things that Abraham Hicks talks about, it made a lot of sense to me, and I felt it. And it's like, this doesn't really work. It doesn't work for me, and it's not working for my clients either. And that's why, I stopped my program, and stopped working with people completely. Anyway, let's jump into today's message. As I said before, right? How some days I have something to say, and some days it's like I have very little to say. This must be one of those days I have more to say. Okay, let's catch my breath. January 21st. Let's jump into today's message. Whatever is active in your vibration is what's manifesting. Pay attention to what you're focusing on. It's really that easy. Okay, whatever is active in your vibration is what's manifesting. And to have something active is you've got your focus on it. You've got your ears, eyes, I want to say nose and throat, but no. Ears, eyes, thoughts, words, all of that on it. So here's another thing with working with people. Whatever they're talking about is also active. Whatever you're watching on TV is also active. Like, all of this is active. If you got any part of your attention on something, on a subject, on something, it's active in your vibration. That's why forever they've been saying, don't watch the news. And they even talk about don't go on social media. When Abraham talks about Facebook, and they call it Nosebook because we're in everybody's business, it's like, you can't be in other people's business. You just got to stay out of people's business. Okay, so when you hear that, if you're a coach, like, and you hear Abraham say, you got to stay out of people's business, you're at a loss, right? That does pertain to you. I don't know how many coaches we have here anymore, but it pertains to you. So that's why I kept telling people, I kept telling just the general public or everybody, like, don't message me with your problems. It's so anti being a therapist, right? But just don't tell me your problems, because then it becomes more active in your vibration, and then becomes active in my vibration, and it doesn't help anybody. And that's so anti-therapy, right? Focus on what you want your attention on. What is it that you want in your life? And it's just breaking a habit. It's breaking a nasty habit of focusing on the things that you don't want. That's it. It's a nasty habit. We all have to stop focusing on the things or paying attention to those things. It's contrast, right? So you spend a few seconds looking at the contrast. You're like, okay, yeah, I don't want this. So then you focus on what you do want, period. That's it. Okay. My mouth is very dry. I've been talking for a while, not just on this podcast, but some others too. And I gotta go. I gotta get ready for bed. So I am gonna let you go for now, and I'll be back tomorrow, of course. Have an amazing, wonderful day. It's almost Friday, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.